that right?
Our monthsary, like
Caravanserai.
going 2 years and 3 months.
Okay, that's good. And Steph, would you like to ask a question for Miss Micah and Sir Ryan?
Yes, I think I'm going to ask what are the challenges you have encountered while in this long distance relationship and how did you overcome these challenges? Anyone?
Yeah. I think when it comes to long distance relationship, we haven't really like experienced that.
Okay, magandang araw po sa ating mga tagapakinig at tagapanood dito po sa himpilang Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Narito na naman po ang ating palatuntunang nakasentro sa mental health awareness and education. Siyempre, kami pa rin po ang inyong kasama sa programa. Ito po si Bea Gaza de Guzman.
At ako naman po si Steph Vicente.
Siyempre kami po ay inyong live na napapakinggan at napapanood sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service Facebook live streaming maging sa YouTube channel. At syempre sa online radio o audio streaming gamit ang inyong mga Evox PBS receiver app. Pwede nyo pong i-download ang ating Evox sa Google Play Store kung kayo po ay Android user at sa App Store naman po kung kayo po ay iPhone user. Para naman po sa ating mga tagapakinig at panood o yung ating mga listeners mula sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo, ang ating overseas Filipino workers at seafarers ay balik shortwave na rin po ang Radyo Pilipinas World Service sa pamamagitan ng ating shortwave frequencies. Ang ating pong English program tuwing 10 a.m. hanggang 11:30 a.m. mapapakinggan sa 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz at 17.665 MHz. Ang Filipino program naman po tuwing 1:30 a.m. hanggang 4:30 a.m. mapapakinggan sa 9.370 MHz, 9.925 MHz at 12.120 MHz. Siyempre, wag natin kalilimutan, Steph, ito pong episode ngayong araw ng Warm Heart ay nire-replay din po ng ating sister station, Radyo Magazine 1278 kHz, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, 1:00 ng hapon. Nako, belated Valentine's Day sa'yo, Steph.
Oo nga, belated. Happy Valentine's
Yes.
Day.
Kaya naman, sige Steph, pwede mo nang i-share sa ating mga tagapakinig at tagapanood kung ano ang lalamanin ng Warm Heart ngayong araw.
So ayun na nga, pakinggan natin ang mga kwentong pag-ibig na handog sa atin ng ating himpilang Radyo Pilipinas World Service para sa ating post-Valentine special. Sa unang bahagi po, itatampok natin ang kwento ni na Micah at Ryan, isang Pinay at Dutch national na nagkakilala sa dating app at hanggang ngayon ay going strong ang kanilang relasyon. Narito ang kanilang kwento.
Our first question will be, when and how did you meet? So, Miss Micah and Sir Ryan, kailan at paano po kayo nagkakilala?
It was way back 2021, like around
Mm-hmm.
third quarter of that year, when I was like randomly, like I am using this dating app. Then,
Okay.
yeah. Then all of a sudden, like I saw his profile picture, and I was like, hmm, should I swipe it left or right? Because that time he has only a few photos there. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, but I decided like, no, I will swipe him right. Yeah. So I don't know if he will going to actually message me back, because we have to wait. So after quite some, like, I don't know, I cannot remember exactly if it took a while or it's just like some day. that he respond, and then that's where everything continue.
Okay. How about on your perspective, Sir Ryan? How was it like knowing Miss Micah on the dating app?
Yeah, she was friendly towards me and also curious about my life. So, and I was also very curious about her life. Yeah, one photo really uh, stood out from the rest. Yeah, I always say it was a white dress, but it's not a white dress. That can Micah explain way better. But yeah, it started from there, and it was actually yeah, for me it was then the night after that we were talking the first time, so it was actually within a day. Yeah, and then from there,
You started
have we
talking.
yeah, we shared our numbers, and from there we started talking.
Okay, that's nice. And how long are you in the relationship with each other, Miss Micah, Sir Ryan?
We've been like 2 years and like 2 months. Like yeah, like 2 years and 2 months, because this January we haven't reached that date yet.
Okay. But
Yeah.
yes, but you'll be having your anniversary soon, this January. Is that right?
Our monthsary, like
Anniversary.
going 2 years and 3 months.
Okay, that's good. And Steph, would you like to ask a question for Miss Micah and Sir Ryan?
Yes, I think I'm going to ask what are the challenges you have encountered while in this long distance relationship, and how did you overcome these challenges? Anyone?
Yeah. I think when it comes to long distance relationship, we haven't really like experienced that big concern yet, but I hope not. um since we have our own, like our own careers, we have our own careers, so, and the time difference also help that during during the time he's sleeping, like somehow I can already start my work in the office, and then vice versa. So during nights, we just like meet, like maybe like 1 or 2 hours to discuss things, just to keep your communication alive. So when there are like matters to be addressed, like if there are like problems or like something like things that concerns each other, we will just take that like maybe 1 or 2 hours in the night to talk about it. So sometimes with that short period of hours, since we are in a long distance relationship, we were able to tackle those things. So that way we were still able to, like even we are not really together physically to discuss things, but we still make it to the point that we were able to discuss things that concerns our relationship, that how we felt in day but in how we felt during the day-to-day things in our life, like checking each other, how's your day going, how's your sleep, something like that.
Okay, so based from your sharing, I understand that communication is
Yeah.
is a challenge, but it's also like the key to
Yeah.
keeping your relationship. Um, Feels like you're still there for each other, even if it's a long distance relationship. How about you, Sir Ryan? What's the most challenging part of being in a long distance relationship?
Yeah, everything goes via video, so that is you don't have really physical touch that you can hold hands or something.
Yes.
So that's one missing part. But yeah, once you are occupied in life with work and such, uh, the time flies fast, and yeah, we can just count on the days that we will see each other in real life. And as Micah also already earlier mentioned, the hours difference, it may be in disadvantage, but also an advantage, because yeah, it kills the hours. And once we speak each other, we have enough time. Sometimes it is for her early in the morning when she goes to work, and in rare cases after my work if she's still awake. And during
Okay.
weekends it is more flexible.
Yes, at least there are weekends or your rest days to make up for
Yeah,
the.
exactly.
Okay, Steph.
I guess I'm going to ask this now. For our Filipino listeners, ang itatanong ko kina Maika at kay Ryan ay ano ba ang sikreto para sa matagumpay na long distance relationship? What is your secret to a successful long distance relationship?
For me, like for this long distance relationship, I personally felt like um even despite of the distance, because I am also not that type of person. I mean, I cannot speak for everyone how, because this is my personal um thing, like it is my own experience. But since I am not like someone who's very needy for for the proximity of someone you love, so I am like I can easily accept the fact that we are like far. But yeah, sometimes it creeps that sometimes you need someone to just hug when you were super duper tired, when you were exhausted. But since Ryan is my actually first boyfriend, so I don't have this feeling that I need them to be with me most of the time. So I was like, at first I have to accept the fact, because that is the reality. I met him far already. He's already far and I'm already far. So that is the fact. Like, let's face it, this is the thing that we are doing. Like, we are going to do long distance relationship. So first, we have to accept and acknowledge, since we also like accept this relationship. So it comes with that thing to be in a long distance. You cannot really like hug or easily communicate with your loved one. But then I think another important thing about long distance relationship is you pray a lot about your relationship, since you cannot know if tomorrow is another blessings for us, if we were still like going to make it through days, of course. So, and also like when I do pray, like when I felt like, what do you call this one, like I felt this feeling of fear, or sometimes some like anxiety. So sometimes it comforts me that um no, like God will work it out. If it is for me, it's for me. Like when it is also God's plan, when it is already in his heart, what I have in my heart, then he will protect this relationship. So for me, that is very important. And then another one is that the key to a lasting long distance relationship is, I think, humility. Like sometimes it's hard to communicate, to be honest. Like I cannot really like express myself through just chat sometimes. Like if I felt bad, if I am mad, if I am really like happy, not unless we were doing the video call. But sometimes the circumstances with the work, with the time, it won't allow. So there is really a big possibility that sometimes we misinterpret the communication. And like if you are really together, like you can easily like um express yourself beside your loved ones, or just hug when you are frustrated. But for this one, it really takes like humility to set aside your pride sometimes, even if in your brain, no, I am right. I think I am right. I think I have a point. But that's what I've learned before. Before I wasn't like that. Like just because throughout the time we learn from each other, because he communicated well to me, like, like giving feedback, not a criticism, but like a constructive feedback, so we will be aware about each other's, like, um weakness, or our, those things that it's like it's not like sometimes good to each other. So because of that, like, I learned how to communicate more, gentle, not like, to communicate with understanding, and, um, to be empathetic with his situation, and not only my situation.
Okay.
So it was like that.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that humility is very important.
Mm.
And I would like, if you don't mind me asking, do you have fights and how do you manage your fights?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think relationship is not relationship if you won't agree, because at the very beginning we are both different personalities.
Yes.
We grow in a different background. Definitely, we grow in different cultures. So, um, there are beliefs that, sometimes, I take too personally, and then
Okay.
I insist it. But for him, because his culture is like more broad when it comes to looking on those things. So sometimes I cannot understand, because I only knew this thing, so I insisted, because if you don't know something, you believe that that's the only acceptable thing.
Okay.
That's the only acceptable fact. So that's why, communication is really like, important, and at the same time you were ready to listen, and to be in their shoes, and to understand that, um it is not always, you, like, it is not always your point of view. Like, I have to see their point of view as well, and then from there we will going to meet in between, to construct, like, the reasonable, explanation on the matter, something like that. Because sometimes, um I think I am the right one. Yeah, but
Well,
when I
well,
yeah.
women usually think that way, that they are always the right one in
We are the right
relationships.
one. Yeah. But when I started to listen to his perspective in a wider
Okay.
view, then I realized, yeah, he is right. Actually, he has the point, because sometimes when you were very carried on with the things, you tend to like block the other options to think about, the other considerations. You just insist that this one, because this is what I felt.
Yes.
Well, as a woman, sometimes we were really like, we really like baby our emotions. And like, no, I am the right one. But then, when I hear him out with understanding, then I realize, yeah, this is the reality.
Okay.
Like, I have to consider this thing, because before moving on to this kind of decision. So yeah, he is
Yes.
my conscience.
Okay. How
Uh,
about
the
Sir Ryan? You have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I mean the fights are quite rare. It doesn't happen that often.
Okay.
Actually, almost never. But there's one golden rule: if there is a fight, that should be talked out before sleeping. Otherwise, it has no advantage for us both to sleep with bad feelings. So that is one of the golden rules we have. If there's something.
All right. Talk it out before sleeping. That's a good rule in relationship. Yes. And Micah mentioned earlier that one of the most important thing that she holds dear when it comes to handling your relationship, the long distance relationship, is you mentioned it's like, I'm not sure if I interpret this right, Micah. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's a God-centered relationship. Talking with each other, spending time, even if it's just through Zoom or Messenger, is like a blessing, and you value it. Do you share the same treatment of the relationship with what Micah shared, Sir Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, the video contact that it keeps it alive. That is.
Okay.
We are already talking more than 4 years, more intensively in the run of our contact. But yeah, it is since then always pleasant that I met Belle. And I always look forward to meet her in real life.
Okay. And Sir Ryan, Micah said she learns a lot from you, especially when you give her different perspectives on things. How about you? Do you learn from her? What are the things that you learn from her, especially with your relationship?
Yeah, we are in our culture. We are quite sober, so we only get feedback, but not much compliments in life, and we are always direct. And I do think that is very counter positive when it comes to the Philippines. So when I also came to the Philippines, I also adjust that way that I won't be direct to people. But it is not a bad thing, and that could be a bad thing for the Filipinos and the Filipinas. It could be seen as rude, but it is something I also need to adjust. But in the long run, she knows that I'm direct, and there's nothing. It is nothing personally. It is just so integrated in our culture. Um, so in that way, I also learned the Filipino to adjust my direct behavior to the Filipino culture. But we as Dutch people are also respectful. So that is also a thing that is very well integrated.
Okay. Steph, may
Hold on.
tanong ka?
Okay,
Okay.
meron akong itatanong. So,
Mm.
let me just get back to the, ayan. So, I would like to ask both of them, what are their future plans in their relationship?
Should I answer it first or Ryan?
I think Sir Ryan has to go first now because go
Well,
ahead.
it is. Well, it is. Well, the plan is that she will come to the Netherlands and that we build up a life here. I'm also very flexible when it comes to life, so she can take her time whenever she wants. I will never push her. I will help her at the moment that she really wants to come to the Netherlands. Then I'm always there to be the number one supporter. And yeah, and then what happens in life? Well, we never know. Maybe a child in the future, maybe without children, it's also possible. But we never know what happens. But I think one of the forecasts is a child, one child.
Okay. How about Micah?
Um, as of this moment, since I am still finishing my thesis, so that is like the priority that we were talking first, that I should finish my thesis since it is just like thesis thesis alone. So then after that, we will like process um the what is the temporary residency that I should take this test in the embassy of Netherlands, so I can actually move to Netherlands for like maybe so far 5 years for temporary residency. Then from there, we are planning that I'll be able to study like continuously and learn to integrate with the culture, with the language. Of course, those are important things because that is a new country that is kind of different from my country. When when I am child, I already learn easily my mother tongue, of course, because it's Filipino. I grow with the Filipino people, like Filipino family who speaks Filipino. And like at this moment, when once I move in the Netherlands, I have to learn their language, their local language there, which is Dutch. So that is also like a tough thing because when you were young, you were easily learn things, but when you were already at this age, sometimes it is not that easy to remember things. Yeah, but yeah, I think that is very important for me because I think communication is really important. That's how you can express yourself. That's how you can actually let people know who, what, when, where, something like that. So that's one of our plan for me to also, after able to secure a temporary visa, is to learn continuously the integration with their country, and then later on like study, like like further study to also like earn some degree in Netherlands, so I can be able also to progress or to continue the progress of my career. Because in the Netherlands, versus here in the Philippines, I cannot guarantee how employable I am because they have their own economic needs when it comes to the career in the Netherlands in comparison to the Philippines. So that is also one thing that we were planning to do um to to go to school for another degree. And yeah, later on, of course, having a child, like getting a child, it is not something that because you wanted it will given to you. uh, it is something you can pray, but it is for God to give if it is meant for you. Yeah. So if it is meant for us to be a parent one day, then we are gladly embrace it. But if not, what can we do? Yeah. Well, adoption, we don't know. Like my mind change over time. Sometimes I wanted to adopt, sometimes I don't. So yeah. And yeah, so when it comes to getting together like legally, then it is something we have to like talk about the marriage, of course. So um a marriage is something that is sacred to Filipino, but it is also something that could affect your finances in the long run. So in both parties, like for me and for Ryan, um, I always told him that marriage for me is important, but I don't want also to put him in a situation that he is not ready for it, because it will be unfair in his side, of course. And I know he is also protecting my interest because of course, like marriage is not a joke. Yeah. So if it comes, it will comes. Like we don't need to like force things, because like if it is for you, it is for you no matter what. So that is our plan for the meantime, at least those things, like going to Netherlands, like to close the distance.
Yes.
Because like um right now, of course, we thought we can endure the separation, but how long? I mean, we wanted a stable relationship, like stable in a way that we were together, that we can really like be with each other day by day, share everything at very moment, because it is not really possible when you are in a long distance relationship. So that is our future plan, at least those are.
The next question would be how do you celebrate Valentine's Day in the past, or how will you celebrate the Valentine's Day, this coming Valentine's Day, February 14th?
Mm, actually, I mean, for me, for the longest time, of course, Filipinos celebrate Valentine's. way back, even when I was in elementary, the first person you gave Valentine's gift is your parents and then your teachers in school. But now that I am in a relationship, like I don't really like demand it because I don't know. Yeah, it is not something I demand because maybe if you don't experience it with
Mm-hmm.
someone else aside from maybe like your family, of course, your teachers, you won't crave for it because you don't know. Like, okay. Then but sometimes I remember this one moment. I was like, like playing cute with him to buy me flowers. Yeah. And actually he did. He bought me flowers, but of course not like buying flowers him in the door open and give it to me. But it is like a surprise, like really surprise. I don't know, but he contacted my eldest sister,
Okay.
yeah, to buy me a flowers. Although it is not Valentine's, but it is something that I really like cherish. Like I was like, oh, I receive a flower, yeah, and um. I was like in doubt if my sister is actually joking because during that time my sister is also like talking about her promotion. So I was like thinking that, oh, I think you're joking. You're playing with me. You're just joking. That flower is actually a flower given to you by your company because you get promoted finally. I was like that, and I cannot like really like believe. And then she called Ryan. Then Ryan like tell me that, yeah, I gave that flower for you. I was like, so yeah, but it's no longer Valentine's, I remember, but still it is something that I actually like cherish. Yeah, but with the Valentine things, like it's not something that we celebrate like religiously. Like, okay, happy hearts day. Yeah,
And
something.
that's it.
And that's it.
Okay. So yeah, because some couple don't believe in Valentine's Days. Even some people would see it as like consumerism. you
Oh
know,
yeah.
people and the market selling flowers and gifts. So some people would see it like that. How about you, Sir Ryan? Do you see it? How do you see Valentine's, or do you celebrate Valentine's? Is it
No,
a
this
big
not.
thing?
No, not at all here in the Netherlands. No. I think the first time that I saw people doing it, Valentine's Day, when it was when I was in university. That some people were doing it, but that's more international, so that's something you'll pick up. But there's no, never really did Valentine's Day.
At inyo pong napakinggan ang kwento ni na ayun, ayun. At napakinggan niyo po ang kwento ni na Maika at Ryan. Ang sabi sa atin ni Maika, dapat naman daw talagang hindi lang sa Valentine's Day sineselebrate ang pag-ibig ng magkarelasyon. Samantala, narito naman ang isa pang kwento ng Filipino migrant couple na hinarap ang hamon ng pag-migrate sa ibang bansa kasama ang kanilang anak. Ito'y upang maghanap ng mas magandang oportunidad sa kanilang pamilya. Narito naman ang kwento ni Nadita at Matt.
Ang una nating aalamin kasi marami po nagsasabi ang hirap iwanan ng Pilipinas dahil syempre kung ikaw ay nakapag-establish na ng buhay dito sa Pilipinas, I'm pretty sure kayo po, Kuya Matt and Ate Dita, na-establish nyo naman po na ang inyong mga sarili dito. Pero ano po ang nag-udyok sa inyo na magtungo sa New Zealand at doon manirahan?
Oh, okay. Before leaving yung Philippines, meron akong negosyo si Dita. Maganda yung career niya sa government.
Yes.
Nagkaroon ng COVID. Na-inspire kami magpunta sa New Zealand during COVID kasi we had our first baby. So, during that time, nakita namin kung gaano kabilis yung recovery. That's why nakita namin yung opportunity na magandang future for our little girl.
Mm. Ayun, gano'n talaga 'no, ang ating mga kababayan talagang very family-centered, laging inuuna ang kapakanan ng pamilya. So, nakakatuwa 'yon. Steph, may tanong ka?
Ayun, nabanggit na, 'di ba sa nung panahon ng COVID pandemic, sila lumipat sa New Zealand. What year po, no, exactly po kayo nag-decide na mag-migrate to New Zealand?
Actually, we decided siguro, yun, uh, during the lockdown dito sa Pilipinas, mga 2021.
Mm.
Mm.
Pero kasi may mga process pa siyang pinagdaanan, and ako ay applied for a scholarship sa New Zealand.
Okay.
Um, yung scholarship results were released in 2024.
Mhm.
But I applied in 2023. So, ang
Mm.
bilis ng pangyayari kasi when we finally got the opportunity, um, nakuha ko yung scholarship sa University of Auckland. Ang bilis na niya. Parang a matter of 2 months
Okay.
or 3 months. So that was 2024. But the dream was planted sa sa puso namin as early as 2020, and then sabi namin, oh sige, pag-aralan na natin. Took us 2021 until 2022, and finally 2023 happy na, and we got nakapunta kami ng New Zealand 2024.
Okay.
It was
Ayun.
quite a journey.
Yes, kaya nga po kayo ang napili namin kasi parang alam mo 'yon, dalawang Pilipino na nangarap, mga couple 'no, pati may baby din kayo. Speaking of, nabanggit niyo po kanina, sabi ni Kuya Matt na especially for your little girl, gusto niyo po ng isang magandang kinabukasan para sa kanya. Ano-ano po yung, maituturing ninyo na, sabi niyo, kailangan po ng better opportunity, so tinake niyo yung chances. So, para po doon sa inyong little girl, meron po kayong toddler, si Hiwaga, ano po yung opportunity para sa kanya na pakiramdam niyo po ay medyo lacking tayo dito sa Pilipinas, pero kung doon po sa New Zealand ay talagang mas magiging okay? Ano po mga opportunity?
For one, yung multicultural
Mm.
na environment for her sa school, na she can learn other languages, also nationalities from her classmates.
Um, Yun din, yung dun sa point ni Matt na um, na-expose kasi siya sa yung opportunity to get to know people from different countries.
Mm.
Kasi siguro yung New Zealand is a very
Multicultural.
multicultural
Yes,
country.
open.
Open sila, and very naman din, welcoming naman sila sa people coming from different parts of the world. And
Mm.
masasabi namin na our daughter Hiwaga is very lucky to be there to experience that kind of environment. Kasi um, yung learning hindi naman din sa academics lang, 'di ba? Pero yung
Mm.
learning na ma-experience mo from to socialize with other people na iba't ibang country yung pinanggalingan. And you're in there na halos pare-pares kayo ng experience. Sobrang laking rin for her, parang advantage. And kami rin mismo, na-experience din namin yon. So, na-appreciate namin yung value
Mm.
ng kasi ng experience.
Mm.
Mm. Miss Dita, Sir Matt, ano-ano naman po yung inyong mga naging challenges sa paglipat sa New Zealand? Saan po ba kayo pinaka nahirapang mag-adjust?
Siguro masabi ko, kasi coming from the Philippines, no, si Matt may na-establish na siyang negosyo.
Mm.
Ako naman, ang tagal ko rin sa government service, more than a decade. parang ang
Mm-mm.
hirap na siyang iwan. So,
Yes, true.
yung dun pa lang sa parang pag-decide na umalis, parang even nung nakarating na kami doon, meron pa rin mga questions like, um, tama ba itong ginawa natin?
Kaya ba
Mm.
natin?
Kaya ba natin to? So, masasabi ko siguro yung challenge, na main challenge na experience namin is yung talagang literally starting
All
from
over again.
all over again. Starting from low, um, later hindi namin, gusto kami titira doon. So, naghanap kami with the help of friends ng bahay. Nag-search kami again with the help of the Filipino community rin in New Zealand. Kasi necessity yun doon. So, namin talagang nagko-commute kami,
Dapat.
lalakad kami ng malayo,
Mm-mm.
bit-bit namin si Iwaga kasi hindi
Oo.
namin siya pwedeng iwan. Wala kaming mapag-iwanan. And to that point, may challenge din sa Pilipinas.
Mm.
Andyan lang, lapit lang ng mga family members natin. Pag kailangan mong pumasok sa work, tapos wala kang, for example, wala kang yaya, pwede ka makiusap sa auntie mo, sa
Mm-mm.
lolo't lola, ba? Doon wala kaming ganun. And I can say na ganun din siguro yung ibang mga office na lumipat sa New Zealand, na they had to struggle din and to undergo that kind of challenge.
Mm-mm.
I-juggle nila yung ang work,
Mm-mm.
kailangan mo rin pagtuunan ng pansin yung school ng anak mo. And at the same, um, yung schedule nyo rin. So, may isa sa amin na talagang tagahando
Yes.
sa school ni
Yes.
Hiwaga.
Mm-mm. Um, Ate Dita and Kuya Matt, nabanggit niyo po kanina na ang New Zealand naman po ay very welcoming. Tapos, ngayon pinag-uusapan natin yung challenges. May naranasan po ba kayo na issue ng discrimination sa lugar na iyon? O ano pa po ang inyong iba pang challenges?
Actually, wala pa so far kaming na-experience na discrimination. Especially,
Thank God.
thank God, especially for me sa workplace ko.
Mm-mm.
Walang other nationalities kundi yung mga locals, which is Kiwi. So ako lang talaga yung immigrant doon, pero I've never experienced discrimination.
Mhm.
Ayun, yan ang gusto nating marinig, Steph.
Mm. At yun nabanggit na yun na wala pa no
Mm-mm.
na ano pero bukod dun sa positive development na yun ano-ano po yung ano pa po yung inyong nagustuhan sa paglipat po sa New Zealand?
Um, Kami mismo yung uh, life balance. Lagi ko tong sinasabi, parang kamusta kayo dyan? Hindi naman kasi talaga siya madali. Um, Yun nga yung you're juggling multiple roles. Wala kang household help doon kung nakasanayan mo. Um, yung mga friends din namin doon, kahit na very close friends, meron din sila mga kanya-kanyang trabaho.
Mhm.
So, yung appreciation ng workplace ng New Zealand sa pagkakaroon ng family at mga maliliit na anak, sobrang mataas. Sila mismo, they value yung work-life balance. And syempre, kami bilang migrant couple, family, no? Na-experience din namin yun. So, for example, pagka merong mga, pag medyo may sakit yung anak, ang
Mm-mm.
dali mo makapag-alam to take
Mm.
care of your child. And they're very understanding. Pag ikaw naman yung nagkakasakit, hindi mo na kailangan sabihin na, ano po, mag-leave muna ako. They will tell you na, um, oh, magpahinga ka muna. Kasi, feel better tomorrow. Ganon. So, take as much time as you need. Based yun sa experience namin, Ano pa ba?
Yes, work-life balance, importante po yan, no? Mental wellness and mental well-being po tayo, no? Ang ganda pala
Yes.
pong lugar. Yes, go ahead.
I-add ko lang siguro, yung weekends kasi talaga,
Yes.
family time talaga siya.
Okay.
Walang mga boss na tatawag sa'yo.
Not even once.
Yung email siguro very occasional, pero hindi ka naman din siguro required all the time to respond. Especially pag nagbabakasyon ka, pag weekends, no? Parang ang mas expectation is talagang yung weekdays, which is Monday to Friday, kung yun yung work hours mo, or work days mo, yun yung talagang time na full on work mode ka. Pero pagka bakasyon, pagka
Weekends.
weekends, naka-leave ka, yan, holidays, you spend time with your family.
Yeah.
So, there's parang generally accepted siya na culture na rin talaga nila yon. Makikita mo rin kasi sila mismo that, they're going to the parks, they are spending time with their children, works
Mm-mm.
with their children. So, na-appreciate namin yun.
Mm. Napakaganda, no? Saktong-sakto sa mental well-being na ating pong
Oo.
pinupush. And also kasi siguro kaya din maayos na naibabahagi at naipapaliwanag sa atin ni Ate Dita yung mga ganito dahil alam niyo po si Ate Dita ay sa Civil Service Commission po siya dati.
Mm.
Ayun, kung hindi niyo po na itatanong. Kaya yung mga ganyan siguro maano siya sa mga work-life balance, human resource management, yung mga ganon, no? Eto po, speaking of yung mga bagay na ikinatutuwa natin sa New Zealand, how about yung weather, people, and food? Meron po ba kayong mga bagay-bagay na fund na kayo sa New Zealand sa mga ganoong bagay?
Si Matt sana pasasagutin ko eh. Pero sabi niya ako daw.
Yeah.
Pero siguro dapat si Matt to food kasi.
Oo.
Yung food, si Matt kasi is in the food industry dito sa Pilipinas, food business na siya.
Mm-mm.
Sa New Zealand naman, food food industry pa rin siya. So
Okay.
we can say that yung quality ng food talagang they value yung healthy
Options.
options.
Yeah, aside from that, yung
Okay.
culture din talaga nila. Yun yung nagpa-wow sa amin.
Mm.
Oo. Yung culture na, marami ring similarities with Filipino culture, like respect sa elders, sa um, ano pa ba yung
Number talaga yung respect rin. Kasi
Oo.
not only from the people, but also from what you have, uh, like your environment, your food, respect, lahat talaga.
yung public
Public
spaces.
spaces, yes. Mm.
Um, sa ano naman, sa transportation, marami pa rin silang ini-improve. Hindi naman sila perfect. Hindi perfect ang New Zealand when it comes to transport sector. Pero siguro masasabi ko mas madaling mag-drive sa New Zealand.
Yes.
Okay.
Kasi yung mga kasama mo rin sa daan parang nagfa-follow din
Yes.
naman generally ng rules. So ikaw din parang ma-encourage ka, and syempre by law kailangan mo talaga mag-follow. So yung sa point ni Matt na respect, talagang nakikita namin siya in many aspects doon, in many sectors, sa workplace, sa school, parang core value siya
Mm-mm.
doon
Ayun.
sa New Zealand.
Ayan. So we could say na very particular pala sila sa mga healthy options pagdating sa pagkain and yung culture nila very respectful, no? So sa lahat ng kumbaga aspekto, no? Whether in work, in public spaces, within your family, no? Napakaganda pong kaugalian, no, na ating natututunan sa New Zealand. Steph?
Mm. At dahil pre-Valentine special, um, itong ating interview with Miss Dita and Sir Matt, gusto lang po namin itanong kung naranasan niyo na po bang mag-celebrate ng Valentine's Day sa New Zealand. Paano po ba kayo nagse-celebrate na mag-asawa? Big deal po ba ang Valentine's Day sa New Zealand katulad ng dito sa Pilipinas? At ano po ang pagkakatulad o pagkakaiba ng selebrasyon na ito?
Yes, to celebrate din yung um, people from New Zealand ng Valentine's Day through like the Filipinos na ang daming flowers
Mm.
sa paligid, like merong nagbebenta sa daan, maraming flowers din sa grocery stores, and cakes, chocolates, nakasale din sila. And while us, yung first Valentine's Day namin, sinelebrate lang namin siya sa house.
Mm-mm.
Nagluto lang ako ng steak, chips, and
Mm-mm.
we grab a couple of drinks,
Mm-mm.
watch our favorite movie, and that's how we celebrate our first Valentine's Day in New Zealand.
Sobrang simple siguro lang din masabi natin kung yun, di ba, parang kung depende rin sa standard kung paano mag-celebrate. Pero siguro yung simplicity ng celebrations din sa New Zealand, like quality time talaga.
Okay.
Hindi namin kinailangan pumunta sa restaurants kasi ibibida ko lang yung husband ko. Magaling siya magluto.
Yes.
Magaling siya magluto. So
Nasa bahay ng restaurant.
And I think yes, parang that's a very sweet gesture already for me, no? Kasi parang ipagluluto ka ng asawa mo, parang very special na rin talaga siya. And yun nga, yung quality time na you get to stay at home. Pagtulog na sa Iwaga, nanonood na kami.
Mm-mm.
And yun nga yung drinks. Kasi grab a couple of drinks.
Mm-mm.
Yun, kwentuhan lang sa bahay.
Okay. Sa mga ganitong occasion po ba, Ate Dita and Kuya Matt, mas lalo nyo po bang namimiss ang Pilipinas at ang inyong family dito po sa Pilipinas?
Kung kung Valentine's, siguro hindi masyado kasi si Matt lang, sobra-sobra na. Wow.
Pero pag Christmas po, mga ganoon.
Ang
Christmas,
dami
New
din.
Year, ganon.
Pag Christmas talaga,
Yes.
siguro kahit saan ka sa mundo,
Yes.
kahit hindi New Zealand, kahit saan ka sa mundo talaga, Pilipinas talaga yung parang masasabi natin, nakakamiss
Mm.
mag-celebrate ng Christmas. Kasi andyan yung mga reunion, yung mga Christmas party. Yata may Christmas
Yes.
party.
Tamang Christmas party.
Oo. Sa New Zealand kasi, hindi masyado.
Okay.
Mm.
May
Spend time
karaoke
talaga
po
sa
ba sa
family.
New Zealand?
Oo, more on,
If you're lucky to have a community,
oo.
you will have you can experience having a party with them as well.
Siguro isa shoutout na rin namin yung Filipino communities
Yes,
namin.
go ahead po.
Of course, yung The Feast, Auckland. Naka-tune in sila ngayon kasi through them, nakapag-Christmas party rin talaga kami. The Filipino way. And syempre yung friends and close friends namin sa Hamilton, sa Galloway Street, hindi ko na sabihin yung address. Pero yung couple friends namin, of course, yung mga Filipino friends namin sa Hamilton, talagang nagsama-sama kami na parang hindi kami nasa New Zealand, parang lang kaming Pilipinas. Pero sobrang na-enjoy namin because of our communities in New Zealand.
Ayun, natutuwa tayo dyan. Nako, Steph.
So yun, siguro talaga.
Ayun. Napaka Ganda no, no, no? Yung mga ganoong type of ugnayan with the Filipino community. Si Steph po ay producer po ng i-plug ko na rin. Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko kung saan po ay tampok ang ating mga Filipino community at yung mga members nila and leaders. Baka pwede po kayong mag-guest kay Steph sa susunod.
Actually, parang may
New Zealand, no?
medyo mga early episodes kasi yung tinampok dito yung New Zealand.
Oo.
Alam ko may Filipino na politician ngayon sa New
Oo, yung
Zealand.
naging member ng parliamentary
Yes.
nila doon. Baka kilala mo, Ate
Yes,
Dita.
actually, yun na sila. Dalawa na sila.
Oo.
Dalawa na sila. I met both of them. So,
Ayun.
yeah,
Yan, sa
nakaka-proud
susunod,
kasi we are being represented.
Yan. Sa susunod, Ate Dita, kay Steph ka naman. Pero eto na muna, advice niyo po sa mga migrant couple na gusto ring sumubok mag-abroad.
Siguro yung before leaving Philippines, they should establish na maganda yung relationship nila ng partners nila. And also, talagang i-assess nila if they are really ready and they really wanted to do this total migrate as a family. Kasi talagang magsa-start all over again talaga.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yung sinasabi ni Matt, ginawa namin yun kasi parang in-anticipate namin yung mga possible challenges. So, pinag-aralan din namin na talagang mag-start tayo from scratch. So, ano yung mga kailangan nating gawin as a couple, as a family. Yung pag-handle ng finances. Of course, simple living. Sa New Zealand, hindi madaling kumain sa labas kasi maubos agad yung pera mo. So, kung sa Pilipinas madaling magpa-Grab, mag-order ng food online.
Mm-mm.
Sa New Zealand medyo kailangan. So, dito pa lang sa Pilipinas sa Pilipinas pa lang before kami pumunta ng New Zealand, namin siya.
Mm-mm.
And then, nung pagdating namin doon,
Okay.
syempre adjustment pa rin, pero mas na-relief for us
Mm-mm.
na mas na namin. Or, yun, na-practice na namin yung mga essential na practices ng migrant couple para
Ayun.
makasurvive at makapag-establish sa New Zealand.
Talaga naman. Isang calculated risk at syempre, no, kailangan din pinag-aaralan. So, matuto tayo dito sa couple na to. Power couple, no? Ang galing.
Oo.
Nakakatuwa. At nakita ko kanina, sabi nila, dahil February 1 ngayon, sabi doon, fortune and love favors the brave, no? Itong couple na to, very brave.
Oo.
Nag-start from scratch. Pero ito, patuloy na lumalaban, no? Nakakatuwa. Okay, naway nag-enjoy po kayo sa post-Valentine's Day special ng Warm Heart, no? Sa kwento po ni na Micah at Ryan at ni Ate Dita at Kuya Matt. Okay, so wala na po tayong oras, no? Nag-overtime na tayo. Magpapasalamat muna tayo sa ating mga nakasama sa Master Control, kay Susan Aizon at syempre kay Sir Leo Magpayo at sa ating pong Warcast na si Hiro Lucero. Muli, ako po si Bea Gaza de Guzman.
At ako naman si Steph Vicente at ito ang
Warm Heart.